Good morning, class. Welcome to the online classes for physics of class 12. In the previous classes, we have already started the chapter magnetism and the matter, in which we have seen what the magnet is, what is the magnetic field, what were the properties, and we have seen that what is the point that the magnetic field can be found at the equatorial position as well as the axial position and its derivations. Right here, we are going to see some more topics, that is geographical north south. We have already seen that the magnetic compass, whenever it is suspended freely, then it always tends to be towards the geographical north and south. They align towards the geographical north and south. What does it mean? That our earth itself behaves as a magnet. That's why it is aligning itself to the geographical north and south of our earth. So it was given a lot ancient time itself that this geographical earth north and the south and the magnetic property of this earth, right? So from there we can say that Earth's magnetic field are complicated than the normal magnet, but this exact Earth's magnetism is now yet to be known more. So the magnet's magnetic field and the Earth's magnetic field are somewhat different, but we can just relate them. Okay. So here you can see the some definition in connection with the Earth's magnetism. Right. We are talking about the Earth's magnetism. We know that bar magnet is due to the presence of the magnetic material at its center, right, which could be a permanent magnet. So similarly, our earth is at the center, that is the core. So inner core of our earth, that is center of the earth, is so hot that the permanent magnet cannot exist there. It is always in the form of hot and a fluid part is present over there. Okay. So similarly, it is working as a magnet itself. It is not cannot be a permanent magnet, but it is working as a magnet. So it has some magnetic field around the orbit of the earth, and these orbits are just allowing the magnetic field to range towards the different orbits around the earth, right? That's why the earth is behaving itself as a magnet. So here are some definitions that we can see here. If this is the earth and if it is having some magnetic field, we are just assuming that here you can see in the figure that a small bar magnet is there. It is because we know that at the bar magnet, the center point, the whole magnetism is there because the magnetic materials are at its center due to the presence at its center. Similarly, the earth is also having some fluid or hot part in between the center at the inner core. So there we are assuming that it is small magnet or the bar magnet is present, due to which there will be flow of the electromagnetic fields, right? Electromagnetic fields or the magnetic field will be flowing. That is, magnetic field lines will be shown in the diagram. That is, we know that it moves from north to south direction, and inside the magnet it will moving through the south to north. Once it will be moving to north to south outside the magnet, inside the magnet it will moving from south to north. So we are taking this Earth's south pole, and here it is taking Earth's north pole. So outside it is going from north to south, and inside the magnet it is moving from south to the north pole. If we are taking an imaginary line going between the earth through the center of the earth, is taken as the equator, right? And what is the geographical axis of rotation? That is a straight line passing through the geographical north and the south of the earth, along which the earth starts its rotation, because we know that the earth used to rotate and revolve around the sun, but if it is rotating, then the body is moving along its axis. So at what axis it is moving, this is said to be the geographical axis of rotation of the earth. Okay. Now we have seen the magnetic axis also, that is the line passing through the magnet. So here what the magnet is, that is the center of the earth, that is core. So the line passing through the parallel to that of the passing through the center of the magnet is said to be the geographical magnetic axis. Similarly, in that we have seen the magnetic axis. Here it will be the Earth's magnetic axis, that is a line passing through the north and the south pole, which will be passing through the center of the earth, that is the passing through the core of the earth. Similarly, what is the equator? We know that is a perpendicular line passing through the magnetic axis was taken as a equator. So it was magnetic equator. In the Earth's equator, you can say that it is a imaginary line which divides the earth into two equal spheres, equal halves. So magnetic equator is a perpendicular line that is perpendicular to the magnetic axis. Similarly, magnetic meridian, that is a vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis of a freely suspended small magnet, which is called the magnetic meridian. Okay, that vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis. Here you can see the magnetic axis, right? That is the axis passing through the magnetic north and the south pole. The dotted line is already shown here. So what does happen, that the Earth's magnetic meridian is taken as the vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis of a freely suspended small magnet is called the magnetic meridian. And last one, it is here the geographical meridian. So what it is, that is a vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis, but here it will be geographical north-south pole, because in that magnetic meridian it was magnetic north-south pole and a magnetic axis. But here if it is geographical meridian, then it is passing through geographical north and the south. So it will be a geographical meridian. So here we are seeing the elements of the Earth's magnetic field. The Earth's magnetic field as a point can be described by the three parameters. And then these parameters are said to be the elements of the Earth's magnetic field, that is angle of declination, angle of dip, and the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. Okay. Here the declination and the angle of dip are taken as an angle with respect to the horizontal and the needle. So what they are, you can see through the figure also, that this is the magnetic needle or the compass needle, which is taken as a body which is always aligned to the geographical north and south. So we can here find out the north and the south direction. Similarly, the line passing through the north and the south pole of the magnet, it is the magnetic axis, and we can take the horizontal and the vertical components of the geographical axis. That is vertical, it is shown here in the upward direction, and the horizontal in the x-axis. So the angle between this both, that is the magnetic meridian. What is the magnetic meridian? That is the vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis, So this vertical plane's angle and the magnetic meridian and the geographical meridian. What was the geographical meridian? That is vertical plane passing through the geographical north and the south. So the meridian which is passing the geographical north and south is the geographical meridian. The meridian which is the vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis is said to be magnetic meridian. So the angle between the magnetic meridian and the geographical meridian is said to be the magnetic declination or the angle of declination, which is shown or denoted with the letter of alpha. Okay, so this is alpha. Now we will be saying angle of dip. It was magnetic declination. It can also be seen as magnetic inclination. So it is the angle between the Earth's total magnetic field B. In this diagram you can see that the total Earth's magnetic field is shown here, that is B. So the angle between Earth's total magnetic field B with the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian, is called the angle of dip. Here you can see that is the horizontal direction in the magnetic meridian. You can see here that is the axis passing through the magnetic axis, right? The vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis, that is magnetic meridian, its horizontal direction, and the Earth's magnetic field B. So the angle between both this will be saying as the angle of dip, which is denoted by the letter del. It is given as del. So if we take it as an equator, if we will taking it in the middle, so it will be 0 also. And if we take it as a magnetic poles, it will be 90 degree. That is, the angle del will be 90 degree and the 0 degree. Some more important terms related to this topics are, first thing, magnetic properties of a material. We already know that the materials are there which have some properties of the magnetic, that is the magnetic property. So we will be saying some more elements that are related to the magnetic fields. Firstly, what is magnetic field or the magnetizing field? We know what is magnetic field. That is a space around a magnet or a moving charge which will be influenced by the force of the magnet. Similarly, magnetizing field. So what effect with which what it can magnetize the other object. So when the magnetic material is placed in that of a magnetic field, a magnetism is induced in that, right? The magnetism is induced in that. So this magnetic field exists and induces the magnetism and this induction, this magnetism is said to be the magnetizing field. Okay, so magnetizing field is caused due to the magnetism induced in the magnetic material. For example, if you take a toroidal solenoid or the solenoid carrying current I placed in a vacuum and it has number of the turn as n per unit length, then the magnetic field in the solenoid is given by B is equals to mu naught Ni, where n is the number of the turn, I is the current. So the field of this B is said to be the magnetizing field, that is the field with what it is existing and trying to induce the magnetism. Now what is magnetic induction is? Whenever we try to induce a magnetism by the magnetizing field, so the sum of the external magnetizing field and the magnetic field due to the magnetization of the material together is called the magnetic induction, right? So total number of magnetic lines crossing through the normally through the area of that material is said to be the magnetic induction. So total magnetic field inside a magnetic material and the external magnetizing field together will be said as the magnetization of the material, that is magnetic induction. And this magnetic induction can also be seen as the number of the magnetic lines passing normally to the material. So the SI unit is given as Weber per meter square itself. Okay. So magnetic induction can be given as Im. Similarly, magnetizing field is given as B. Now we will see magnetic field intensity. Now we are talking about the intensity of the magnetic field. What is magnetic field? That is the space around the magnet which will try to influence the object, or it is influenced by the force of the magnet. So magnetizing field intensity is denoted by the letter H. So the ability of magnetizing a material is said to be the magnetizing field intensity, that how you are, or the field how it is magnetizing the material that is kept in the magnetic field. Now what is the intensity of the magnetization? We know that the number of turns, if a body is kept in the magnetic field, then how much it is induced by the magnetic, it is known as the magnetic induction. And if we talk about how much the ability of that magnetizing field that it magnetized a material, that is the ability, it is said to the magnetizing field intensity. What is intensity of the magnetization? That is a magnetic moment developed per unit volume of a material. That is magnetic moment, small m, developed per unit volume, that is small m upon v, that is magnetic moment per unit volume when it is placed in a magnetizing field is called the intensity of the magnetization. It is given by capital M, which is equals to small m upon v, that is magnetic moment per unit volume. If we take the small m's value, that is NIA, from here you can see that I will be that of the magnetic induction itself, that is Im. So on taking this value, what we can write it as that capital M is equals to small m upon v. V is given as the length into breadth, that is A into 2L. And similarly, magnetic moment is the product of the either of the charge or the pole strength with the distance between that two poles, that is 2L. So magnetic moment can be given as Q2L as well as upon the A upon 2L. So intensity of the magnetization can be defined as a pole strength developed per unit area, because it is Qm upon A. So we can write as development of the per unit sectional area of the pole strength. Now permeability, we will be talking about the magnetic permeability, which is given as mu. And this one we have seen in the first chapter, that is moving charges in the magnetism, first topic. There we have seen this magnetic permeability mu, and the mu upon 4 pi we have used mu naught upon 4 pi, which was equal to 10 to the power minus 7. So this magnetic permeability, that is magnetic permeability, can be defined as the ratio of the magnetic induction and the magnetizing intensity. So it will be equal to B upon H. And we know what is magnetic induction is and what the magnetizing field intensity is. That is H was given as the magnetizing field intensity, that is the number of the turns flowing around the unit length of the solenoid to produce a given magnetizing field is said to be the magnetizing field intensity. And what is the magnetic induction was, that is how much it is induced, that the total magnetic field or the total number of the magnetic field lines passing or crossing per unit area normally through the material. Okay, so mu is equals to B upon H. Similarly, if we talk about the relative permeability, because in the previous class that electrostatic, you may have seen that the permittivity, it's absolute permittivity, Relative permittivity, similarly we will have in the magnetic permittivity, which is mu. Absolute, it is given as mu naught, and for relative, that is the ratio of the permeability, absolute one, and the permeability of the free space. That if we are having a free space, then it will be the absolute permeability, that is mu naught. If it is a permeability of a medium, that is mu. So mu upon mu naught, it is a relative permeability. Magnetic susceptibility, that is the ratio of the intensity of the magnetization, capital M, upon the magnetic field intensity, that is H. So it is chi M. It is given by the chi. The letter here X is with a denotation which is said to be chi. So it is chi M equals to M upon H. Relationship between the magnetic permeability and the magnetic susceptibility. We know that chi, it is M upon H. Magnetic permeability, that is B, is equals to mu, H mu. So B, from there what we get, that it is, if you take out the value, then B is equals to mu into H. If you take out the value of H from there, that is given as plus M. So B is equals to mu H, and we know that mu naught H plus M, that is the total magnetic field intensity and the magnetic intensity, magnetizing intensity, that is mu naught H plus M. On taking B is equals to mu H, so it is taken as mu equals to mu naught 1 plus M by H. So it is mu equals to mu naught, because M by H is given as chi M, that is susceptibility. So we can write it as mu naught 1 plus chi M. And relative permeability, it is given as mu upon mu naught. So mu R will be equals to 1 by chi M itself. So that is the relative permeability and the susceptibility, or the magnetic susceptibility. So this were the relations and the formulas which we have used as elements also, and the magnetic induction also. So in the next class we will be seeing the classification of the magnetic metal, that is paramagnetic, diamagnetic, and how they originate and what are their uses. So what are the formulas which we have seen? That is, magnetization was given as magnetic moment or the pole strength with respect per unit volume. If you talk about the per unit, if you take it as a pole strength, then it is pole strength per unit area. And mu, that is magnetic permeability, which was the ratio of the magnetic induction B to the magnetic intensity H. Magnetic susceptibility was M upon H, that is intensity of magnetization and the magnetic field intensity. Okay. And if you talk about mu R, that is relative permeability, then permeability of a medium upon the permeability of the free space. And B is given as mu naught H plus M. So these are the formulas which we have seen in the session. So thank you, class.